Holy crapsicles. Everything is just going absolutely insane right now. The Republicans have gone through 5 roll call votes now for Speaker. No winner yet, as there is a never Kevin movement of about 20 representatives. It was originally like 18, I think, and 19, and then now it's up to 20. They're voting for Byron Donalds now as opposed to Jim Jordan. Now, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is a complete fringe lunatic QAnon insane person, right? But she's actually supporting Kevin McCarthy. But it appears the only reason she's supporting Kevin McCarthy is because she feels like she was dissed by the protesters, like the Freedom Caucus, Matt Gaetz, and those people. She feels that she was like basically slighted by them because they weren't advocating or negotiating concessions for her, and she felt like she was the biggest victim in all of this because she had, I believe, her committee assignment stripped. One of the biggest things, one of the biggest powers you get as speaker is you get to control committee assignments, and committee assignments are huge in terms of legislation formation. But Marjorie Taylor Greene's fans, this is hilarious. I never thought I would make a Marjorie Taylor Greene's own fans turn on her video. I never thought I would see that ever. But here's a tweet that she sends out. She says, "We can't even swear in as members of Congress until we elect a speaker. We can't form committees until we elect a speaker. We Republicans can't fire Nancy Pelosi loyal staff in the House and Capitol until we elect a speaker. We can't investigate anything until we have a speaker." And so this got crazy amount of responses. So generally speaking, whenever there's like a certain amount of responses equal to the favorites, it indicates high levels of controversy or backlash. It's called a ratio. This has 28.7 thousand favorites. It's 25,000 responses. Holy crap. And this just doesn't make sense for someone with the ethos and the character of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her character is perfectly fit for being part of this movement that's calling Kevin McCarthy a rhino and not extreme enough, etc. She perfectly fits that mold, so it deviates. This action deviates from the mean, and that's why everyone's like, "Dude, what the hell? Like, why are you doing this? It's so bizarre for you to be the one supporting Kevin McCarthy." So everyone's really confused, I would say. But this one says, "So jump out of bed with Kevin and vote for someone else." Sounds a little bit, maybe sexist there. "Tell Kevin McCarthy to step aside, endorse Jim Jordan, and problem solved." Keep in mind, Jim Jordan he doesn't even want the speakership. Like, he's being nominated against his will. He's not even interested in the speakership. The trolls picked him as a troll candidate. Now they've switched their vote to Byron Donald, though, is what they've done. Come join us, Kevin, Paul Ryan. You got freaking, you got, what's his name? John Boehner, and I'm not even sure who that is. Maybe that's Hastert, I'm not sure. "Bless your heart, but didn't you say you know how to lead a successful takeover of the House? And you cannot elect a rhino Speaker of the House. You, Marjorie Taylor Greene, have to support an America First representative. Deliberate, damn it, vibrant, intense deliberation on behalf of the people is how it's done. Framer intend Congress to act, blah, 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 blah. You need to convince GOP leader to step aside so you can begin the work of the people." So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to frame it as like Kevin McCarthy needs to step down. They're trying to flip it on them. Like, oh no, Kevin McCarthy is the one that needs to step down. You can't fire Pelosi loyal staff even if you want to. It's government employees. There's just so much. So there's just so much stuff going on here. And then there's some like Democrats that kind of jump in too. But most of the people here are like this. So it's pretty crazy to see, but there's so many of these tweets though now. So this is another one. 203 Republicans are ready to vote to fire the 87,000 IRS agents. By the way, the 87,000 IRS agents is completely made up. It's fake news created by the conservative smear machine. Total fake news. Biden and the Dems hired to target everyday Americans tonight. 19 are holding the country hostage and preventing us from doing our job for the people. It's time to elect Kevin McCarthy Speaker and get to work. Again, this is not something that fits the ethos of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She should be on the other side of this. That's why everyone's so confused. It says Paul Ryan 2.0. "Why can't you see this? No, ma'am, I love you, but this is worth the fight. I don't know what McCarthy has said to you. Remember, he was the one who supported you being kicked off your committee assignments. Like everything else, you say it's not happening, kook." But that's Michael Rappaport. That's a Democrat. "What did McCarthy promise you to sell out your country?" There's just so many people going on right now. So it's like, Speaker of the House cannot rescind legislation already passed by the House and Senate and signed by the President. The Senate would never agree, and even if they did, the President would veto. McCarthy needs to step aside for the hood of the party. Assuming the good. That's a good point that he's making there. That's surprising. What did he promise you? It's time for you to go away. There's just so many people. Look, so many people posting a snake emoji. Damn, bruh. Damn, bro. And this is actually really bad for Marjorie Taylor Greene here, because the thing is, people like that thrive off of opposition as opposed to like support. So her support comes from opposing people and policies, not supporting them, right? So when she loses that opposition that she has to these things, it's really going to hurt her politically speaking. So this could really be what makes her out of office, actually, seriously. Oh no, let your boo go. Oh, but you're too invested though. At least 175k worth, right? A lot of what seems to be like sexism, I would say. No, look who learned how to fall in line. You don't have to vote to pass legislation into law. Like you don't have the votes to even elect a speaker. After all, you ended up to be another rhino. What are you afraid of? So I think this is what's gonna like kick her out of office, actually. So she's screwed now. Um, if the base only understood the 19 Republicans voting against McCarthy are playing Russian roulette with our hard-earned Republican majority right now, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. And so it's a Charlie Kirk tweet that says, from House source, two very plugged-in Dem leadership aides said they are already talking about coalition leadership to divide the House evenly between Republicans and Democrats. That's a dumb strategy for the Democrats. Your strategy is to make them look, which you're not doing any of that, by the way. You're not making them look like idiots. They're making themselves look like idiots. So you want to let them make themselves look like idiots. You don't want to give them a lifeline. That's stupid. Why doesn't the 201 Republicans vote for Jim Jordan? Why does the 19 have to kowtow to you at all? We are sick of the rhinos, spineless cowards who are all talk. We the people stand with 19. The 19 Representative Matt Gaetz keeps standing strong. Vote President Trump for Speaker. What the fuck? President Trump? They're voting all these people who don't want the seat. I think it's absolutely hilarious, but that's not a Republican. So anyways, there's just so many of this. Y'all owe it to us to show courage against the swamp. Just so many people. No more rhinos. There's just so many people here going on. And again, reminder, there's double the amount of replies to this tweet are their favorites. It's literally a ratio. This one also has more replies than favorites, 6 to 3.2, 6.2 to 3.2. So another one, Jim Jordan does not want to be Speaker and nominated Kevin McCarthy on the House floor for Speaker and is voted from every round. Jim Jordan was Chairman of the Judiciary, but he can't because 19 Republicans are not supporting Jim Jordan by voting for McCarthy. So there's just so many people. Backing McCarthy was a mistake. He does not represent the best interests of the American people. So what? Still doesn't explain why you're McCarthy is the only damn option. What is in it for you anyway? You sound absolutely obsessive. She does. What did McCarthy promise you? I did not have MTG supporting a rhino on my bingo card. This is really dangerous territory for her career, man. This really hurts her in the eyes of the extremists. And so it's going to be a big deal politically. If you don't know, Lauren Boebert actually was calling out Trump and saying, because Trump, I guess, made a call saying that, hey, you should support, telling Republicans to support Kevin McCarthy, because basically, he's saying it makes them look weak. If anything, this just makes Trump look weak is what it does, because they didn't work. He says some really good conversations took place last night. And it's now time for all of our great Republican House members to vote for Kevin, close the deal, take the victory, and watch crazy Nancy Pelosi fly back home to a very broken California, blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to read all this, man. Holy crap. It's just a bunch of, just pure shisa. But let's go. We have work to do. And it didn't work. So this, if anything, just makes Trump look weaker. And it was a dumb thing to say because it was so risky in terms of, the looks. Right, perception is everything, and so if you issue, a sort of directive and then it doesn't work, it's like, oh, you're weak, you don't have power, and that makes you look bad. People don't like people who look weak, and so basically, there's just so many of these. Look again, 8,000 replies to 7,000 favorites, and so just so many people. No, Jim Jordan, you all work for us, and you don't even know what we are wanting. What a joke. Only fears 20 congressmen stand, people end up having to make concessions. McCarthy becomes Speaker. A worse stalemate will continue because of McCarthy's big ego. We'll have a Democratic step in that position. No. So there's just a bunch. I've lost all respect for you in one single tweet. So a bunch of people. And Jim Jordan is no longer the troll's pick. The troll's pick is now Byron Donalds, representative from Florida. So the plan is to stop McCarthy. The plan is to stop the Democrats. Wake up to political reality. Remember who the enemy is. And so again, this is it's just going crazy now where no, people do not agree. The goal is not just stop Democrats, they want to stop the rhinos. The crazy Republicans do anyway. It's not the mainstream Republican opinion. But it's just surprising to see MTG on this side and not the other side, because it makes more sense for her to be on the other side than this side. But wow, this is just crazy, man. This is politically going to be disastrous for MTG. This is going to be horrible for her because she thrives on this kind of crazy opposition. So she's going to really be hurt by this, dead serious. C'est grave. But the point here is with also the Republicans, it's just terrible for the Republicans as a whole because it makes them look incompetent and it's going to hurt them really in the poll numbers. So we'll have to see what ends up happening, but I'm sure it's going to hurt them.